I'm black, but my bread, man. I'm the answer, never question. Lace up, learn a lesson. Bitch, I'm saucing, I do this often. Don't do no talking, my options right when I walk in. Jump on them Jordans, I'm ballin'. Money jumping, like I'm Davis from New Orleans. Or bitch, I'm Harden, I don't miss nothing.
Hey, what's up guys? Before I start this video real quick, I just want to say please be sure to head on down to your item shop and type in supporter creator code beyond-halo, then click accept. This will support me greatly and it will not cost you guys anything, so please be sure to do this as it'll give me lots of support and I'd really appreciate it if you do. And yeah guys, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hey, what's up guys, Beyond here, and I regret to inform you that in today's video we're not going to be talking about tips or anything amazing about this game. In fact, we're going to be talking about the exact opposite. And what this is essentially the decline and possibly the fall of Fortnite Battle Royale. Now, I try to stay away from making these type of videos because usually Epic fixes their mistakes within a couple weeks from when they make them. This usually means that they revert updates or make changes to the game that fix potential mistakes that they've made. A couple examples of this are adding guns that are too overpowered and then fixing them later on into the season, or even removing things from the game that players don't like. Now, recently we've seen that Epic has completely failed to do this and that they have been doing whatever they want without listening to their fanbase whatsoever. One example of this happening is the recent change in Siphon. Epic added Siphon in Season 8 of Fortnite, and they removed it a little bit into the season after Apex Legends started to decline and Fortnite rose up to the top once again. With the removal of Siphon, many players were upset with this change and they demanded for Siphon to be returned. Now, these were not just the players that were very skillful or the players that were better than others. It was also the casual fan base and most of the overall Fortnite population that played this game wanted the Siphon changes back. Now, for some reason that Epic has failed to tell us, they decided to take it out and keep it out. And even though everyone, and I mean literally everyone, asked to have it back, they did not listen to the community, and it took them weeks to finally give us a notice as to why they're doing this. Now, their reasoning for this was because apparently most of the Fortnite community did not like Siphon and felt that it resulted in too much aggression. Now, this is obviously not true, although Epic has claimed this. Many, and I mean many, Fortnite pros and Fortnite content creators and influencers all around the community did polls on YouTube, on Twitter, and on many different types of social media, and hundreds of thousands of millions of players voted in these polls, and one thing was consistent in all of them. The major portion of the polls was voted as players wanting Siphon to come back. And what I mean by major portion is at least 70 to over 80% of the votes in every poll was people being in favor of Siphon coming back. And obviously this was a very large amount of people, as it was millions of players, which make up the major population of Fortnite. So Epic saying that they removed Siphon because the majority of players not liking it is a complete lie, and we have proof for it all over the Fortnite community. Now, as bad as the Siphon problem was, what happened in the beginning of Season 9 was without a doubt one of the worst things that Epic has ever done in the history of Fortnite. And what this was the removal of the pump shotgun, which is a gun that has been in this game for all 8 seasons since the release of Fortnite to the current day. Before Season 9, where they took it out, the pump had always been the meta and the most famous and popular gun amongst players in the game. This gun was not only used by pros in competitive game modes, but it was also used by a lot of casual players that enjoyed being able to get nice clean one pumps and enjoyed the crisp gameplay that the gun offered. Epic removing this gun on May 9th of 2019 sent people of the Fortnite community on a frenzy. Everyone was confused as to why Epic did this, and they were absolutely furious as to why they would do this so randomly, with absolutely no reason and no good possible answer as to why they decided to just take out the most popular gun in the game and expect players to not worry or care about it. Now, me personally, I cannot play this game anymore with this update, as I am just so used to the pump and I am so adapted to this version of Fortnite that is reliant on the pump that it's so hard for me to get used to playing without it. As you guys can see in this gameplay that I got just 2 or 3 days ago, literally a day or two before the update, you guys can see that the majority of my kills were with the pump shotgun as I land all my shots. In fact, my channel itself grew off of my aim and my sensitivity and settings, which were used for the pump. And after this change that Epic made, many pro players have actually decided to stop using shotguns in general, because the shotgun that Epic added, known as the combat shotgun, is simply not good enough. It is not a good shotgun for combat, does not do enough damage, and it is way too inconsistent to be used in competitive game modes. Now, the inconsistencies don't just affect competitive game modes, they also affect the casual players, because if they're going for nice and easy shots and they're just having fun games and they're relaxed, they're not going to be relaxed when their shotgun does 20 damage to the head from point blank range. And this was something that Epic had fixed in the pump shotguns. After seasons and seasons of changes, updates, and improvements, they had finally made it perfect in Season 8. And for some reason, they thought that it would be smart for them to completely remove the shotgun and add a new one in that is neither sufficient enough with the amount of damage nor consistent enough to even be close to being as good as the pump. Not only did they do this change without giving us warning, but they also did it 2 days before the Fortnite World Cup, Week 5. Now, this is absolutely absurd, and I have no idea why they would do this, as there are thousands of players right now that are going to be playing in this World Cup in hopes of playing for thousands of dollars, literally millions on the line if they qualify, and almost, I think, $100,000 per qualifier just given the players who are placing. And none of these players are getting anything for this, because they're going to be playing on completely weird settings that no one has ever been used to playing with. The removal of the pump shotgun is the most significant meta change in the history of Fortnite. Out of all the updates, all of the seasons, and every change Epic has ever made, the removal of the pump shotgun is without a doubt the most serious and the most affecting in terms of gameplay. Doing this during the World Cup series was one of the dumbest things I've probably ever seen a gaming company do, and doing it without warning or telling their players why just adds to the chaos of this update. Now, some players are arguing and saying that we should just adapt to this new update and get used to it, and although this is very true, I think that this new shotgun is so bad that even adapting to it will not matter, because the inconsistencies met with playing with it cannot be fixed no matter how good you are at this game. And even if you can become consistent, it will not happen over the course of 1 or 2 days. Therefore, all the pro players that are going to be playing in the Fortnite World Cup have absolutely no way to get used to this change by the time the World Cup qualifier is happening. Not to mention the fact that Epic making this change happen is bringing back the spray and pray meta, which was one of the most hated updates in the Fortnite community before this update. I'm not exactly sure what season this was, but I remember clearly when the drum gun was in the game and P90s were coming out newly and they were still very OP. Many people complained about it, and countless amounts of people in the community had threatened to quit the game and not play anymore. And even myself, I felt very overwhelmed with the absolutely insane power behind these weapons. And Epic seems like they're going right towards that path once again, and going right towards that spray and pray meta to win. This takes absolutely no skill and is not only noob friendly, but is also very enraging in public matches and games like that. Now fortunately, if Epic continues to do all of this, they will eventually lead to the demise and the downfall of Fortnite, and some other game will come out and it will take over as the best game, because no matter how good Fortnite was, if it continues to be going downhill at this rate, there's nothing that will save this game from dying, and unfortunately that is the cold hard truth. Now as we're reaching the end of this video, guys, I just want to wish Epic good luck with their endeavors, and I really hope that they're able to fix this game. And if you guys watch this video to the end, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and comment and let me know what you guys think of this update in the comments below.